The Cleveland Browns quarterback battle just exploded into the most chaotic situation in NFL draft history after Jimmy Haslam's shocking combine. Comments leaked to the media. And, according to sources who've witnessed the fallout over the past 12 hours, what started as a potential Shedder Sanders versus Fernando Mendoza debate has now morphed into an all-out war involving Deion Sanders threatening lawsuits, Andrew Berry fighting to save his credibility, Todd Monken demanding clarity on who he's actually coaching, and at least 3 other NFL teams trying to exploit the chaos by making trade offers for Cleveland's 3rd overall pick. But here's the most explosive part that nobody saw coming. According to sources with direct knowledge of conversations happening right now inside the Browns facility, Deshaun Watson's representatives have reached out to the team offering to restructure his contract and compete for the starting job if Cleveland wants to avoid the draft drama entirely by just sticking with Watson for 2026. And according to sources, some people in the Browns organization are actually considering it because the alternative, choosing between Shedder, who might sue them, and Mendoza, who Haslam accidentally revealed, is so radioactive that keeping Watson might be the least terrible option. This isn't a quarterback competition anymore. This is organizational implosion in real time. The explosion of the Cleveland Browns quarterback battle began on Thursday evening, February 27, 2026, within hours of Jimmy Haslam's alleged combined comments starting to circulate among NFL insiders and eventually reaching media members who began reporting that Haslam had revealed Cleveland's plan to draft Fernando Mendoza instead of Shedder Sanders. According to sources who've been tracking the cascading series of events that followed, the situation deteriorated rapidly as different stakeholders reacted to the news and as the implications of Haslam's alleged revelation became clear. The first major explosion happened when Deion Sanders, after speaking with Andrew Berry on the phone and not getting the reassurances he wanted, decided to go nuclear on social media, according to sources who monitored Deion's accounts. At approximately 8:47 p.m. on Thursday evening, according to sources, Deion posted a video message on Instagram and Twitter that immediately went viral and that fundamentally changed the dynamics of the entire situation. According to sources who've watched the video multiple times, Deion spoke directly to the camera for approximately 4 minutes and delivered a message that was part warning, part threat, and part declaration of war against the Cleveland Browns, according to sources familiar with the video's content. Deion started by saying, "I've been hearing some things from Indianapolis about conversations that allegedly happened at the Combine. And I want to be very clear about something. If the Cleveland Browns think they're going to use me and my son as props in some kind of draft smokescreen game, if they think they negotiated my advisory contract in bad faith while planning all along to betray us, then they're about to learn a very expensive lesson about what happens when you cross the Sanders family." Deion continued, according to sources, by saying, "I have lawyers reviewing every conversation I had with Cleveland during negotiations. I have documentation of every promise that was made. And if Jimmy Haslam actually said what people are telling me he said, then we have grounds for fraud, misrepresentation, and breach of contract. And we will pursue every legal remedy available to us. Cleveland wanted attention and headlines? They're about to get more attention than they can handle." The video concluded, according to sources, with Deion making a direct threat, "Shedder Sanders will not play for the Cleveland Browns if they draft him. I don't care what the contract says. I don't care about the opt-out timeline. We will sit out. We will re-enter the draft. We will do whatever it takes. And the Browns will have wasted their 3rd overall pick on a player who will never take a snap for them. That's not a negotiating position. That's a promise." The impact of Deion's video was immediate and catastrophic for the Browns, according to sources who've monitored the reactions. According to sources, within an hour of the video being posted, Andrew Berry was fielding calls from other NFL teams asking if Cleveland wanted to trade the 3rd overall pick, from agents asking if the Browns were still interested in their quarterback clients, and from media members asking for official statements about Haslam's alleged comments and about Dion's threats. According to sources, Barry spent most of Thursday night in emergency meetings trying to figure out how to contain the damage and how to salvage the Browns' draft strategy, the emergence of Deshaun Watson as a potential solution to the quarterback. Chaos happened on Friday morning, February 28, 2026, when Watson's agent reached out to Andrew Barry with an unexpected proposal, according to sources familiar with the conversation. According to sources, the proposal was structured as a potential escape hatch for the Browns if they wanted to avoid the Shetter-Mendoza disaster entirely. According to sources, Watson's agent told Barry that Watson is willing to significantly restructure his contract to create cap relief for Cleveland. That Watson is willing to compete openly for the starting job in training camp. And that Watson believes he can still be an effective NFL quarterback if given proper coaching and support, according to sources who've been briefed on the specifics of Watson's restructure proposal. He's willing to convert approximately $40 million of his remaining guaranteed money into performance-based incentives that would only pay out if Watson actually plays and performs well. According to sources, that restructure would save the Browns approximately $25 million in cap space in 2026 and would give them much more financial flexibility. And according to sources, Watson is also willing to agree to language in the restructure that would make it easier for Cleveland to move on from him after 2026 if the situation doesn't work out. The internal Browns debate about whether to seriously consider the Watson option has been intense and divided, according to sources who've spoken with staff members and executives. According to sources, some people in the organization view Watson's proposal as a lifeline that allows Cleveland to avoid the Dion mess, to avoid overpaying for a questionable draft pick, and to give themselves one more year to properly evaluate the quarterback position without the pressure of having to solve it immediately. But according to sources, other people in the organization view the Watson option as pure desperation and as a continuation of the same mistakes that got Cleveland into this mess in the first place, which is prioritizing short-term fixes and avoiding difficult decisions rather than building properly for the long term. Todd Monken's reaction to all of this chaos has been frustrated anger, according to sources who've spoken with the head coach. According to sources, Monken has told people that he needs to know who his quarterback is going to be, so he can build an offensive system around that player's strengths. And that the current uncertainty where Cleveland might draft Shetter or Mendoza or stick with Watson is making it impossible to plan properly. According to sources, Monken has specifically told Andrew Barry that if this situation isn't resolved soon, Monken is going to have serious concerns about whether he can succeed in Cleveland. Given the organizational dysfunction, the trade offers for Cleveland's third overall pick have been flooding, and according to sources who've been tracking the market, according to sources, at least 5 teams have contacted the Browns since Thursday evening, offering various packages of picks and players in exchange for the third overall selection. According to sources, the most aggressive offers have come from teams that want to move up for a quarterback, either Shetter or Mendoza, depending on who Cleveland doesn't take. But there are also offers from teams that want other positions and who view Cleveland's chaos as an opportunity to acquire a premium pick at a discount, according to sources familiar with the trade offers. The New York Jets have offered their 10th overall pick, their 3rd round pick, and their 2027 first round pick for Cleveland's 3rd overall. The Minnesota Vikings have offered their 11th overall pick, their 2nd round pick, and wide receiver Jordan Addison for the 3rd overall. And the New Orleans Saints have offered their 10th overall pick, their 2nd round pick, their 2027 first round pick, and defensive end Cameron Jordan for the 3rd overall. According to sources, all 3 offers represent strong value. And if the Browns decide they want to avoid the quarterback decision entirely, they could trade down and still have a high first round picked to use on a different position, Jimmy Haslam's response to the chaos his alleged comments created has been to go into hiding. According to sources who've tried to reach him. According to sources, Haslam has not made any public statements, has not attended any combine events on Friday, and has reportedly told his PR staff that he's not commenting on anything until he consults with attorneys about potential legal exposure. According to sources, Haslam is particularly concerned about whether Deion Sanders' threats of legal action have merit, and about whether Haslam's alleged statements at the combine could be used as evidence that Cleveland negotiated Deion's contract in bad faith. The NFL league office's investigation into whether Jimmy Haslam violated any league policies with his combine comments is ongoing, according to sources familiar with the inquiry. According to sources, the league has interviewed several people who were present for the conversation or who heard about it shortly afterward, and the accounts of what Haslam said are generally consistent, which suggests that something close to what's been reported actually happened. But, according to sources, the league is struggling with how to handle this situation because punishing an owner for loose talk at the combine would set a precedent that could affect how owners interact with each other at league events. While not punishing Haslam could suggest that owners can say whatever they want without consequences, the broader NFL reaction to the Browns quarterback battle exploding has been a mix of schadenfreude, concern, and opportunism, according to sources who've spoken with executives around the league. According to sources, many teams are enjoying watching Cleveland implode because it validates their own decisions to avoid the Deion Sanders circus and to build their teams more conventionally. But, according to sources, there's also genuine concern in some corners that this situation is bad for the league as a whole because it creates negative headlines and makes the NFL look dysfunctional. The agents representing quarterback prospects in this draft are closely monitoring the Cleveland situation, according to sources who work in player representation. According to sources, agents for other quarterbacks besides Shedder and Mendoza are reaching out to teams that might be interested in trading up to third overall if Cleveland makes that pick available, positioning their clients as alternatives who don't come with any of the drama that Shedder brings. According to sources, this has created opportunities for quarterbacks like Quinn Ewers and Yolan Milroe, who were projected as late first-round or second-round picks, but who might now be considered for higher selections if teams decide they'd rather have a clean evaluation without the Sanders complications. As of now, Friday afternoon, February 28th, 2026. The Cleveland Browns quarterback battle has exploded into complete chaos with no clear resolution in sight. Deion Sanders is threatening lawsuits and promising that Shedder won't play for Cleveland. Jimmy Haslam is hiding from the fallout of his alleged combine comments. Andrew Berry is scrambling to salvage the situation while fielding trade offers and listening to Deshaun Watson's restructure proposal. Todd Monken is demanding clarity that nobody can give him. And the entire NFL is watching to see whether Cleveland can somehow rescue their draft strategy or whether this becomes the most catastrophic organizational failure in recent league history. The next few weeks will determine whether the Browns can recover from this explosion or whether Jimmy Haslam's loose lips have destroyed their franchise's future.